You ever try to fix your own confusion by thinking harder, only to end up even more confused? Yeah, turns out, you can't logic your way past obstacles that you aren't even aware of. And that, right there, is why Zen doesn't just give you a stack of ancient texts and say, "Good luck." It hands you something way more powerful: engagement with a living, breathing teacher. Not a parroter of the Zen cliché du jour, but someone who specifically shapes your experience in real time to show you exactly where your understanding has inevitably gone off the rails. After all teaching comes down to words. And words have always been, and will always be, invariably misconstrued, to include these very ones. So, what is engagement with a living, breathing teacher, really? Let's start with what it isn't. It's not just about having coffee and rubbing elbows after Zendo, and it's not nodding along to a Dharma talk. Engagement is the crafting of your experience by someone who knows the destination, knows the path, knows the next gate on yours, understands the obstacles, and sees your blind spots all more clearly than you do. And their general tool of choice? Sanzen or dokusan. Short, often intense one-on-one meetings. That's it. Belly to belly, heart to heart, nothing in between. And it all revolves around a framework, a tangible teaching device. The Buddha had the end of suffering. The Zen master Joshu Sasaki had clarity. Others used joy, courage, even the nature of raw experience itself. Think of it this way. Traditional Buddhism throws countless sutras at you, hoping that a distinct image of the fundamental teaching will eventually emerge. Zen takes a sharper approach. Bag the sutras, face the teacher, the Dharma handed down, not primarily through words but through a framework, engagement and practice. And when those moments of engagement inevitably rattle your current understanding of the framework, that's where practice steps in. Practice is that time we dedicate to reconciling the doubt generated through engagement. And in Zen, our primary mode of practice is zazen, literally seated meditation. But don't let the lack of movement fool you. A robust practice isn't chill, passive, monk core vibes. It's hard work, with 4 characteristics. It's persistent, vigorous, directed, and adaptive. It's persistent, as in every day, no days off. It's vigorous, as in you're being both alert and engaged. You're not zoning out. You're seeing the world and drilling down, drilling down, drilling down. It's directed, as in there's always an aim, often the attempt to reconcile some doubt or challenge resulting from a recent engagement. And it's adaptive, because the practice you start with on day 1 necessarily won't be the same as your practice on day 1001. Quick example. When new students came to Sasaki, they'd invariably start with a practice that we might call return to the breath. Basic, grounding, wake up, notice you are off thinking, and come back to an awareness of your breathing. But once engagement kicked in, the practice of returning to your breath wasn't going to cut it. Suddenly you're face to face with Sasaki as he asks, "When you hear a bird chirp, how is it you know for sure it's a bird?" Good luck answering that by counting inhales. And so, we must see engagement with a living, breathing teacher as a vital leg of a Zen training stool that also includes a framework and practice. And if one of those legs is missing, we don't get to see so good. And so today, we've actually touched on the 2 specific conditions necessary for the Zen activity to arise: the presence of a living, breathing teacher, and an agreed-upon path centered around copious amounts of zazen. And for the next episode, the question, what are some typical activities of Zen?